Madison Square Garden, where former unified world champion Gennady GGG Golovkin will face Sergiy Derevyanchenko, and this is for the vacant IBF Middleweight Title. This will take place Saturday, October 5th, once again here at Madison Square Garden, and it'll stream live on DAZN. Former unified middleweight king Golovkin is aiming to regain the IBF crown he held for 3 years before being stripped of the title following the first of his two epic battles with Mexican rival Canelo Alvarez. Derevyanchenko challenges for the IBF belt for the second time in his career after a split decision loss to Daniel Jacobs. Derevyanchenko moved into #1 position in the IBF with points over the win over Jack Kulkai.
How are you?
Hey, I'm here with my favorite, Nestor Gibbs from The Boxing Voice. Now, Nestor, we're here at Madison Square Garden. We have Gennady Golovkin going up against Sergiy Derevyanchenko. And what are your thoughts on this fight?
Great fight. Something that we wanted about a year ago. You know, politics, the business, the big Canelo fight made Gennady Golovkin not take this fight about a year ago. But definitely a top 10 fight. Definitely a good fight for the fight fans. I mean, politics kind of spoil it, but I don't think the casual fans know anything about IBF getting involved and failed negotiations with Canelo. So from a boxing standpoint, it's a good fight, you know.
Well, you know, go into that a little bit. It's with this IBF. It's been sort of like a merry-go-round. You know, GGG once held the IBF belt, and he lost it to Canelo, and then from there go on.
Well, he held it. He had to vacate it because they ordered the Derevyanchenko fight, and he had the Canelo fight on the horizon. Then Canelo ends up winning that belt after he gets the belts from Gennady and unifies with Jacobs. And they didn't give him any time to negotiate. There was some sort of deal in place where the winner of the Jacobs fight had to automatically fight the mandatory. Normally, when you win a title, you get a voluntary, but not when there's verbiage in the contract already.
And so, once again, this is for the vacant IBF
Middleweight
belt.
title.
Now, do you think that Canelo will ever come back on to 160 in the middleweights, or do you think he's moving up in weight? Or
I think so. I just talked to Joe McCroskey, one of the heads over there at DAZN, and they definitely expect Canelo to be back this year. Obviously, he has 3 divisions he can campaign at with 160, 168, and all the rumors of him having a done deal with Sergey Kovalev if he could pull the win off with Anthony Yarde. So, I mean, he's got options. He's the face of boxing, so, you know, it's really where he wants to fight. I don't think he's going to go straight into the Gennady Golovkin fight. I think he'll stick around and see if Gennady does the unification with Demetrius Andrade. It was his idea for Gennady to get a belt in order to fight him again, and I don't think he's going to be in any rush to fight for a belt that he just got stripped for. You know, if they really wanted him to be champion, I think they would have gave him more extensions. But the rumor is he had like 3. So, you know, it's difficult when you're dealing with the politics and #1 contenders. People want their shots.
You know, I'm confused too. Now, Canelo, what type of belt does he have right now? I mean,
Well,
I am so confused about what belt they made for him or something.
So here's the thing. He was the WBC champion, and then he became the franchise champion. So now
what's a franchise?
that's something new. The franchise champion essentially is someone that's recognized for doing so many great things in the sport that they get named the franchise champion. But the perk of being a franchise champion is you don't have to fight your mandatory. So Jamal Charlo became full WBC champion. Canelo becomes franchise champion. He's also the WBA champion and the WBA champion and the Ring Magazine. So he's got a belt and a half, I guess. Gennady will get another belt, and you got Demetrius Andrade with the other one. Canelo has 2. He has the WBA and whatever the WBC franchise title is gonna look like, because they haven't presented him with one yet.
It got a little confusing there.
No, I'm sure.
You know, and you're really up on all what's happening. What do you think is going to happen with this Andy Ruiz and this is the million dollar question and AJ Anthony Joshua.
Interesting.
And what did you think about that fight? Were you surprised? Not surprised?
Yes.
I
didn't think Andy had a shot. He upset. He shocked everyone. Is the bottom line. But this rematch is just. I think the best thing that could have happened was AJ lost. Right? They were looking for him to raise his profile in the U.S. I don't think he would have had as much media coverage in the U.S. had he won, because it would have been, all systems go, doing what he normally does. The upset put more eyes on it. If you look at the Zone's highlights, they got like 13 million in a couple of weeks, right? So it made more noise. And now the Saudi Arabia is being so controversial that all publicity is good publicity. So
what do you think about Saudi Arabia? Do you think it's going to go there?
No, it's going there. I mean, like I said, I just talked to
yeah.
Joe, and he mentioned it, and, he's part of the Zone. There's no official announcement for the Zone on the broadcasting rights to this fight just yet, but like I said, he feels strongly that the Zone is going to win the bid. They have last rights on AJ's fight, so they can entertain other offers, but at the end of the day, they have to come back and let them know what that offer was and see if the Zone wants to match it or beat it. So I expected to be on the Zone. He told me that he's expecting the fight to start around 4 or 5, with the main event rolling out around 10 o'clock UK time. So 4 or 5 here in the US for us. So I think all the planning is done. They just have to probably sign the ink. I'm pretty sure the Zone's not letting this one slip through their hands.
I think I'd like to go. I mean, I'm the person.
Really?
I'm the person who goes to Morocco and all these places. But see, with that Sharia law, I don't know. I'm not married. I don't know. Are they going to make like?
I mean, the man to talk to is definitely Eddie, right? I'm sure
are they going to make some concessions for? I mean, the country itself. I mean, for you're having Westerners sort of come in and of course I think they've even had some, I don't know if it was Nicki Minaj or some people perform there, and
she didn't go.
Oh, she didn't go. In the end, she didn't go.
No, she turned it down, but definitely some A-listers have performed there. A-listers in the music industry.
I mean, but do they make them tone it down? Do they? I mean, some of these people are known for their
your guess is as good as mine.
That's the only thing I'm a little worried about. I mean, each country is a little different, and you certainly don't want to end up
or ruffle any feathers
in jail there.
Listen, I mean, you got to do your own research. I'm not going, but I think I'm not going based. It's just financially, it won't make any sense. It's just too far. It's too much. But it's still going to be a great fight. All eyes will be tuned in. The fact that it's happening in Saudi Arabia, it kind of gives us our own Thriller in Manila, or Rumble in the Jungle. So I'm supporting it. I'm just hoping that everything plays off the right way.
Well, thank you, Nestor Gibbs, the Boxing Voice. It is all the time. You got to subscribe to YouTube for it. You're also on
iTunes, iHeart, Spotify, everywhere.
I mean, these guys come out every day, a couple times a day. Just and I'm all the time. It's where I get like the majority of my boxing news. So thank you for your time, and I enjoy.
The Hart Show. Thank you, Kristal Hart. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. In Saudi Arabia, I'd love to go there. I've gone to Morocco, all types of places.
You should come.
But with the type of Sharia law, I mean, what happens with somebody like me, a single person?
Absolutely no problem at all. And that's one of the things that's been frustrating about this, is the lack of knowledge about, not your lack of knowledge, by the way, I don't mean that disrespectfully, about what is allowed and what isn't allowed. So we had a number of people coming out, women aren't allowed, they're not allowed to travel on their own, they're not allowed to go to the fight. I'm thinking, I don't think that's right. So we look into it with the the government officials that are staging the fight. Absolutely women are welcome. Absolutely women are welcome to the fight on their own, with a partner. The difference is there's certain codes and rules that you've got to adhere by. You've got to dress a certain way. You don't have to have your face covered, but you can't dress perhaps like you dress it in New York or but that's you have to respect that, in my opinion. There's certain things in countries all over the world that you think are old hat that you can't respect. But fans say to me, "Oh, you can't drink in Saudi Arabia." That's not. I mean, that's just their religion. You know, that's their beliefs. You can't really criticise that. So what? You don't want to go to a show because you can't drink, really? You know. So we understand the criticism. Nothing's perfect, but the country are making some major changes, and they're using sport and entertainment to try and show you those changes. So, like for instance, you look at the videotape of a David Guetta concert there the other week. 70,000 people jumping up and down partying to David Guetta. I was watching it thinking, is that Saudi Arabia? But some people call it sports washing, where they're saying, oh, they're just trying to use sport to cover up their problems. I think they're trying to use sport to show how the country's changing. Got a long way to go, you know. We all have. Look at America. America's not perfect. Britain's not perfect, you know. But we understand some of the criticism, but I think people just sometimes need to get their facts right about what's allowed and what's not allowed before they just, oh, we can't go. Women just aren't accepted in that country. Yes, they're welcome. Women, men, all welcome to that fight. So, all right.
Anthony Joshua stated that Andy Ruiz was given a punch sent by the gods. What do you think? What do you make of that statement?
I think that it's hard to say in boxing that it's a lucky punch because everybody means to land the punch. I think where it hit him on the head was maybe lucky. Like, he wasn't aiming there. Do you know what I mean? He hit him there 2 seconds before, no problem. He just one spot on the side of the head that took the balance away. But it's hard to say lucky because he meant to throw the punch. But it was lucky the spot that he hit him at. Let's see if he can be as lucky in the rematch.
Here with Andrew Rosario. Now, Andre, this is not your first rodeo with this. You know, you had Danny Jacobs, you trained him, and now you're training Sergiy. Tell me maybe what you're going to work on or what flaws you saw in Sergiy against Danny Jacobs.
Well, basically, they're two different athletes, Triple G and Daniel. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to get back to our defensive circle where Sergiy works off his angles. It's no surprise. It's no secret. And we're going to concentrate on making sure his jab is razor sharp and make him uncomfortable.
And tell us a little bit about the athlete, Sergiy.
No better fighter on this planet to work with. He is like heaven on earth when it comes to training a fighter. And I'm just very happy to be back with him. I wasn't with him for 2 fights, and now we're back together. And he's going to be getting back to his old movement, his old technical capabilities, and that will render the decision on his behalf, and he will be victorious on October 5th.
And what do you think Jonathan Banks is going to bring to this game? Now, you seem to be good friends through the years, a lot of respect there, family, as you say.
Oh, yeah. I love Jonathan. Jonathan is a fantastic young trainer. He was a fantastic athlete, and he started working with fighters, and he morphed into a wonderful trainer. And like I said, I won't have the fun that I did with Abel Sanchez because there's nothing for me to talk about or to fight about when it comes to Jonathan. The only thing I can say is that I know he's going to do his best to make sure that Gennady is ready to fight, and I can say I'll enjoy the competitiveness of what we're going to face with being across the ring from each other.
And what do you think Jonathan Banks brought to GGG's game? Did you see the Steve Rolls fight?
Well, you didn't see much in the Steve Rolls fight, but I know he's going to bring the Detroit edge. He's going to bring that Kronk flavor, and I'm a big fan of it, and it's going to be very, very exciting. They're going to put on a great show.
Some people, now I always take a victory as a victory, you know, it's a 4th round knockout, but some people were a little concerned maybe with GGG getting hit there in the beginning. I mean, did you have any thoughts on that?
No, it's boxing. I mean, sometimes, and it's been a moment since he had actually boxed. He had a period of time where he just wasn't boxing. So a little rust sometimes comes into play. You have to loosen it up, get comfortable again. But when he got comfortable, we saw what happened.
Well, best of luck there. You're going to train here in New York, or where are you going to go?
Well, we've been training, and we probably are going to be going out to California, working with James, Mike Basil, at his Aloha gym, and I'm just looking forward to a wonderful, wonderful training camp. And of course, we'll be stopping by to see Victor Conti at Snack, one of my favorite locations to train, and we're just going to turn it up to the 9th degree.
Well, good luck there, and thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, and have a great day.
We're here at Madison Square Garden with us Francis Fantine. We have a fight. We have Gennady, GGG Golovkin, going up against Sergiy Derevyanchenko. It's going to be Saturday, October 5th, once again, and it is for the IBF title, middleweight title. Now, first of all, I want your thoughts on the fight, and I want your thoughts. This IBF this belt has really gone around the block. Yeah. And GGG was once the title holder of this belt. So why don't you explain to the audience a little bit about what happened?
You know, Kristal, I got to tell you, I don't know. I just know that Triple G was once the IBF champion. He lost it to Canelo. Canelo lost it to Jacobs. No. Well, you know, it's so confusing, and this is what they want you to do. They want to confuse you because now they're giving you, again, Triple G against a guy that shouldn't even be in the same ring with him.
Do you think, I mean, he once went up against Daniel Jacobs and lost for this IBF, so now he's getting a second chance at it, just like GGG.
Yeah, but, you know, do you remember him fighting? I mean, I've been around boxing, 20 years, and I don't remember ever seeing him. I don't even remember him. To tell you the truth, I thought it was a guy that just came up like another Ronald Fielding. So it's tough. I could tell you this right now. I don't know anything about this guy, and all I do remember is that he lost to Jacobs, but I don't know anything about this guy. So
and
that should tell you what boxing is all about lately.
And do you think GGG if he wins this, does this put him in a better position to fight Canelo, or what do you think the whole holdup? I mean, isn't that sort of the big fight?
Yeah, that is a big fight. But the thing is that I think that they're trying to run out the clock on Triple G. You know, if you've noticed, they always want Triple G. The older he gets, the worse it's going to be for Triple G. So they're making him wait. They're going to have him fight this guy. And then in another couple of months, they're maybe going to have him fight Saunders. And then after Saunders, they're going to try to go after Lemieux. And then when Triple G obviously is old and out of shape, and then Canelo's going to get him and beat him. And then he says, you know what, I beat him. I beat a Triple G. So, you know, they're trying to obviously make Canelo look good.
And were you around for Steve Rolls' fight, GGG? It was a knockout in the 4th round. Congratulations, GGG. But some people weren't quite as impressed. What were your thoughts on that fight?
It's hard to get motivated when you're expecting to fight Canelo again, and all of a sudden they give you that Steve guy. You know, it's hard to get motivated for these fights. You know, mentally, it's got to be so frustrating for Triple G that he knows that he beat him the first time, and at the second time he lost, and now he's not going to get the rematch because Triple G gave Canelo the rematch, and or vice versa. But I don't think Canelo wants anything to do with Triple G. Deep down, Canelo knows that he doesn't want anything to do with Triple G.
And why is that?
Because I'm sure that Canelo had to go to the extreme in his training, and I don't think he wants to go through that again. And he you know, and the doubters say that Canelo doesn't want to fight. I mean, he's got enough money to do anything that he wants in his life, so I don't think Canelo's that hungry anymore.
Oh, you think?
No.
I mean, a matter of fact, what weight is he fighting at? Is he middleweight, 160? Is he 168? Or is it just up in the air to whatever fight comes his way?
That goes to show you how much he's enjoying his money and his life. That he's fighting, you know, he's thinking about fighting Sergey Kovalev. So that gives you a sign that, you know, that it's hard for him to lose that weight, and it's hard for him to train and to be at the weight that he has to be with Triple G. I mean, don't forget, these guys, they balloon all the way up to 210 pounds. And to come down from 210 to 154, you can imagine what the hell that they got to go through.
Oh, yeah. As I always say, I can't even lose a pound at this point. And the older I get, the harder it is to take off weight. And that's just drudgery. I don't even know how you can get in that ring. You're just so drained.
Well, you saw what happened to David Lemieux. that they had to take him to the hospital.
Yeah, I saw that.
You
I
know,
saw that.
and that's what people don't understand. It's hard for these guys to make weight that they're supposed to, and at the right time, at the right day, you know, you might get hurt in the ring because of all that weight that you've lost, and it's hard to put that weight back in maybe 1 or 2 days. You saw what happened lately to Curtis Stevens, and that's because he came down and he looked ripped, but he wasn't. There's no way that he could fight at that weight at 154. So I don't think, to tell you the truth, I don't think that Canelo wants anything with Triple G, and I think that he's looking for bigger and easier fights, which are going to be the Kovalovs of the world, the John Pascals of the world. You probably will see that. Canelo against Pascal.
Well, here we are once again at Madison Square Garden. It's going to be October 5th. It's going to stream live on DAZN. And so shortly we're going to go to the press conference.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to bring up one half of this great fight for the IBF World Middleweight Title. A guy who, like Lou said, one of the best amateurs to ever lace a pair of gloves. Everybody in the sport of boxing knows how good Sergiy Derevyanchenko is. He's a real threat and a real danger to the division and to Gennady Golovkin. Ladies and gentlemen, one part of this great fight for the vacant IBF World Title, Sergiy Derevyanchenko.
Привет всем. Мне очень приятно находиться вновь в Madison Square Garden. Я хочу сказать огромное спасибо моей команде Кит Конноли, Эл Хейман, Лу де Белла, что они организовали такой бой. Хочу сказать большое спасибо команде Головкину, что они приняли этот бой, что мы договорились о этом бое. Это будет...
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out here today. First, I want to tell you I'm really excited and happy to be at Madison Square Garden. I want to say a big thank you to my team, to Keith Connolly, to Al Heyman, Lou DiBella, Andrew Rozier, Gary Stark Jr. And I really want to also give thanks to Gennady Golovkin for the opportunity as well.
Я понимаю, с кем я буду боксировать, что это бывший чемпион мира, что это лучший боксер middleweight, но его время подходит к концу. Я хочу сделать это время концом.
I know exactly who I'm getting in the ring with. He is a former middleweight champion of the world, one of the best fighters in the world, but his time is coming to an end. And I want to be the one that makes that time come to an end.
Приходите 5 октября, будет отличное шоу. Спасибо.
Please come here October 5th and you'll watch a great show. Thank you very much.
I think that when we talk about the struggles of fighters coming through, I remember when I had a fighter called Darren Barker who was looking to challenge for the World Middleweight Championship. And I think it was Tom Loeffler who called me up and said, great news, we can give Darren Barker a shot at the world title. And I said, how much is that going to cost me? They said, just give us some ringside tickets, that's fine. I couldn't believe my luck. I phoned up Darren Barker's trainer and I said, you're not going to believe this, we've got a world title fight. He said, who's it against? I said, this guy, Gennady Golovkin. The phone just went dead. He didn't even call me back. And this is a guy who had to go through his whole career with people not wanting to fight him. So when he gets to this situation in his career, where people don't want to fight him, it's nothing new. It's nothing new at all. So he just goes about his business. And sitting down with this gentleman is an honour, always, and a privilege, because as an individual, he carries himself with so much class in a sport where you see people misbehaving and behaving with no class. This guy is a role model for the next generation of fighters coming through. He has integrity, he has respect, he has honour, and when you look at him in the eyes, it just tells you one thing: I love to fight, and I will fight any man. And fans need to know, don't worry about Gennady Golovkin. He will fight anybody because he loves to fight. It's an honour now to be on the team, and at this time I would like to welcome up to the dais the former world middleweight champion, Gennady Golovkin, aka Triple G.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so excited. Beautiful present. I don't know. First of all, I'm very happy. Go back home, my second home. Thank you, people. Thank you, family in Madison Square Garden, who support me all my real career. Of course, I'm very excited right now because I understood the situation. Look, right now, I work with the best people from boxing. I have the best opponent, Sergiy Derevyanchenko. I know him long time ago. He's a real very good fighter. Just I understood my situation. This is not game. This is a real fight. I'm a little bit scared because he absolutely right. I listen to his coach. He is absolutely right too. I know his team is very strong team. And why? Because I'm scared. Because he looks good. He looks strong. He feel his time right now. Maybe. This is boxing. Nobody knows, guys. Nobody knows. If you want watch a real show, real fight, please welcome to Madison Square Garden October 5th or live the zone. I want to say thank you people who support boxing. Thanks people who support me and promotions, all promotions, all sponsors or partners. Just thank you for everything. I promise, guys, October 5th, we bring amazing show. Don't miss the show. See you in Madison Square Garden, guys. See you.
Well, Sergiy is going to be a tough opponent for Triple G. He's hungry. His last fight, he lost to Danny Jacobs in a split decision. And can't escape the fact that Triple G is 37 years old. So his career is, winding down. But it's going to be a toss-up. Triple G's history speaks for itself. He did beat Danny Jacobs in a very, very close fight. It could have gone either way. I felt that Danny Jacobs, by changing his style, going from orthodox to southpaw, hurt him. He got knocked down in the second round, and I think that if he would have knocked down Triple G at any point, he might have come away with the decision or a draw. But Triple G is going to be ready. Both fighters are going to be ready, and I think it's going to be one of the biggest fights of the year.
And both of them have great amateur, like 300-400 fights.
Yes,
We're not talking like 10, 20, 30.
Right.
So
I guess, October 5th, it's going to be a really interesting matchup, and I think, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a draw. I wouldn't be surprised if Triple G, wins convincingly, but he could also lose convincingly as well.
this is boxing, and it'll stream live on DAZN. And once again, here at the Mecca of boxing, Madison Square Garden. That's
Excellent.
Exciting in itself.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Andrew.